All right, this is the part two of the solving right triangles where we're actually going to be finding angles. Now in my previous part one video I did not solve number three, so I went through and did solve number three, solving for a side length. And so if you did get this problem done, to make sure you are correct. All right, so we've solved for a side length. Now let's determine, if we are given us two side lengths, how are we going to find the angle length? Now, it's actually it's not necessarily, it's a little less difficult than the side length in doing algebra, because you're actually just solving for the angle. And so we have to use a special button called the arc sign, and I'll show you how to do that on your calculator, well, the calculator that I have on the internet. And so what we have here is find the measure of each angle indicated. Now you're going to use the same techniques you use. We're going to use the same tools, the same methods of trying to find which tool to use that we did on finding the side length. It's just we're going to do a little bit of different method here to get the angle by itself. So what we're going to do here is, we're going to try to solve for this angle right here. Now we're given the opposite and we are given the adjacent. Opposite and adjacent. So what is the only function that uses opposite and adjacent? And you are right, that is the tangent function. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up our function just like we did in the last problem. Okay, we have tangent, but in this time we do not know what the angle is, and we have the opposite, which is 3, over the adjacent, which is 9. And so now we're kind of stuck in a spot. We need to get the the angle by itself, and the way to do that is to take both sides times the arc length, or arc tangent. All right? To put that on your calculator, what you're going to do is we are going to take second, and we're going to put tangent. Press the tangent button. So arctan. Okay, so let me review that again. Arctan. So we press the second tangent button. Let me go back to that. Let me get back to what it was. So if we have the second, and we're going arctan, and when you press second arctan, it's going to actually do it for you. And so the calculator I'm using is a little bit different. So if we press arctan and we press 3 divided by 9, we're going to get our angle measurement. So if we do 3 divided by 9, this is kind of difficult to do this on this calculator, so hopefully it's not confusing for you. I cannot find the division sign on here. Arctan divided by, we have plus, let me clear out of this. Where is the division sign? Alright, so I apologize, because I should have looked at this beforehand. Arctan, 3, not mod. I'm going to have to figure out a different calculator. Give me a second here. Should have done this beforehand. Let's see. Let's go back to my sites here. I apologize. Let's see. I might just have to tell you the answer so you guys can see what it is. I assumed it would be alright. Let's try another calculator. That calculator is the one that I used to have. Alright. You know what I might do is we might cover it in class, but I'm going to give you the answer so you can at least test it out. So what we're going to do is you're going to press second tangent. Alright, and then you're going to have on your calculator this thing that says tangent -1. And it's going to come up with some parentheses. And what we're going to put in there is the 3 divided by 9. And that is going to give us our angle measurement, which in this case is 18.4 degrees. And that's all we have to do. We essentially divided by tangent by taking the arctan to both sides. We've eliminated the tangent and we've isolated just the angle measurement to 8.4 degrees. Alright, so it's kind of like doing algebra with trig functions. Alright, so let's try it again, and I'm going to have to do the calculations on my calculator for you. I apologize for that break in time there. So we'll go pretty quick here. Number 6, we have the opposite and hypotenuse. So the only function that compares opposite and hypotenuse is the sine. So we have sine of theta equals, in this case, 10 over 13. And again, you press the second sine button. That'll give you the arc sign. And so we press, and you come up with sine to the -1, and we put 10 over 13 in that. And we get second sine 10 over 13, and your answer is 50.3 degrees. All right. So you can see that the process is very similar to finding the side, but you have to do less algebra in this case. So number 7 is the angle. We have a adjacent and the hypotenuse. Adjacent and the hypotenuse would be the cosine. So we have cosine theta equals 4 over 15. And so to solve for this, we're going to go the arc cosine. So that would be cosine -1, 4 divided by 15, which you should get an answer of 74.5 degrees. 74.5 degrees. And then finally, 8 is opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite over hypotenuse is sine, so I have sine theta equals opposite, which is 10 over 14. I take both sides times the arc sine, and I get arc sine 10 over 14, and you get 45.6 degrees. So you can understand that although it can be overwhelming to look at all this stuff, it really, you just got to look at it from the sense that we are just finding the angle measurement, just using a particular tool that we need in this case. All right. So hopefully that helped you alleviate some pressure with trigonometry. This is kind of the basic level of it in terms of just solving right triangles. And then so we'll apply this to application problems here later on this week. So thank you for your time, and please come with questions if you have any. Thank you.